Hey, lovies, this is Michelle here at Life Mantra Tarot. I hope that you guys are all doing great. Happy Sunday. I haven't checked in almost a week, um, but I'm happy to be checking in with you guys. I hope that the rest of your week was great, and I hope that you guys had a nice weekend and are, getting prepared for the start of this upcoming week. Uh, yeah, so for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. I hope you like what you see here and decide to stick around and hit that subscribe button, that like button, all those things that can help support the channel and all that good stuff. Interact within the comments if you're in the chat. All that good stuff is all super supportive things that you can do to energetically help the channel. And for those of you who have already been rocking with your girl, welcome back. Hey, Aya, aka Veronica. How you doing, girl? Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I had to do a little sit down and talk to myself. Like, girl, stop it. Pop some self on the hand. But I appreciate you and Lati for being supportive when I was having my little moment. I don't know where my brain was at. I think I was just in my feelings about stuff. I was feeling great, and it's funny because like before I started this, I was like feeling like, should I go on about April predictions, or should I go on about motivation for people who might just kind of feel, kind of lost or misguided, feeling a little bit of just kind of going through it. It was what I was picking up on. But Spirit told me instead of doing that, do this, but still provide a message because I do have a message about that. So with that said, those like I said, for those of you who have been rocking with your girl already for a bit, welcome back and thank you for the continued support. Love you guys. So with that said, quick little tidbit. I do feel like there's a message for somebody. Somebody. When it comes to maybe just feeling a little bit like, it's hard for me to even get the words out. Like I know what I'm trying to say, I just can't get the words out. Just feeling, I heard under pressure. I heard, and I think the pressure is coming more so from yourself than anyone else, is what I'm picking up on. This has nothing to do with the April message, by the way. This is just a message that Spirit wanted me to deliver before I even start. Um, I'm getting that, and just like feeling maybe like a lack of hope and faith within self. So, Spirit does want me to, deliver a message about that really quick. And basically says, yes, there are going to be those times where things feel like, you just feel like giving up and you're just like, oh, you're all done with everything, right? But, keep pushing forward, you know, put your best foot forward and never give up faith. Those birds all of a sudden started tripping loud as hell. They were not tripping that loud just a little while ago. So there is definitely a message there. I'm getting kind of like, find like a song in anything that's happening in your life. Like, and literally like a song, like if you're like me where music is kind of your thing that kind of keeps you motivated. I just was listening to the Beatles just on my when I was walking on my way home from my other job. My coworker was like, you want to ride? I was like, no, I think I'm gonna take the scenic route. I'm just gonna listen to some Beatles before I go home. And it put me in a nice like good groove, and I felt good. So music might be an outlet for some folks, whether it's like listening to music or writing music. My son's about to perform in a little bit. It's his birthday. He's in LA right now, so he's excited to get ready to perform and stuff out there. But yeah, nonetheless, I don't want to go on too long about that. I know you guys came for a reason, but Spirit, like I said, did want me to deliver that message. So don't give up. Don't lose faith and hope in yourself. Easier said than done. I know we all go through our moments where we're just like, I'm at my wits end. I don't know what to do. And I went through that just the other day myself. So like literally, like was going through it, crying and stuff. It was a mess. So if you're feeling something similar to that, Spirit wanted me just to kind of reiterate that message and point that out so that we can work together and be on our I keep hearing good foot. That's something that's been coming up a lot, on our good foot, and just, keep on keeping on, don't give up on yourself, and don't give up, on the Most High. Don't give up on, those who believe in you and have been continuing to support you, so on and so forth. That's what I'm picking up on. So nonetheless, like I said, this is a message for the month of April. Um, and we're just gonna kind of do a little energy check in and see what's going on. Um, and kind of go from there. We'll kind of see what the overall energy is looking and feeling like first, and then go from there. If I feel guided to draw from like the love decks or career and finance, we'll kind of see what the overall energy is looking like, and then we'll go from there. All right. So with all that said, I know that was like a lot. um, Spirit, may let positive energy into this reading for the collective. Show them what they need to see at this time for their highest, clearest, and most accurate messages, please and thank you. So let's split the deck. What we got? Yes. So we do have the Healer of the Ages, and we also have the sixth chakra Archangel Metatron here when we split. So there's an energy around healing. And maybe that's why, I was called to kind of 636 as I said that. Maybe that's why I kind of felt kind of drawn to like talk about this energy of like, restoring hope and faith. So there could be something going on there, and also getting more in tune with your higher self, getting your mind right, getting your, stepping into your intuition more and paying attention to that is kind of what I'm getting. All right, so let's see what else is going on. Here are some most accurate messages, please, and thank you, Spirit. Hey, show me empathy. How are you doing? And thank you. I know I needed a change. I've been rocking the fro for so long, and I'm like, let me switch it up a little bit. I did the straight look for a little bit when I burnt up my hair. That was fun while it lasted. So I had to cut my hair off and had the fro going on. So I'm okay. I'm actually pretty good. I went to work, and work wasn't that bad. I didn't want to be there necessarily, but it wasn't terrible. I was hanging out with my girl, so it made it like, look, I mean, made it kind of go by a little bit quicker. So that was cool. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. It's weird because like when my girl is actually my coworker, she did my hair, and she was like, this was yesterday. She like, is it heavy? I was like, not heavier than my locks were, because my locks were like, down to my butt. These are just like more like mid back. So like, I was like, girl, I got this. Like, this isn't bad at all in terms of heaviness, because my locks they were heavy sometimes. But anywho, so we have Angel of Love here on the bottom of the deck. So there could be, I'm getting like, not like love, like romantic love, to be honest with you. I'm getting more like this energy as we have show empathy here. Empathic love for yourself is kind of what I'm getting. That might be a big thing. Yeah, getting out of your head a bit because you might be stuck in there too much. Get out of there a little bit. Trust me, I know. Yeah, it's kind of giving like you guys get kind of, stuck in there, and it's hard to walk away from the ideas that you kind of bestow upon yourself is kind of what I'm getting. Let me know if it resonates. I know I can resonate with that. What we got? Two cards. All right, so yeah, the thinking man is here again. So it's like, we have the magician, but I'm getting like smoke and mirrors. It's like your thoughts manifest. So if you are stuck in, and I'm saying this as somebody who can resonate and relate to this, maybe that's why, there's like that disclaimer in the beginning of the reading. I'm getting like smoke and mirrors. Your own thoughts could be the thing that kind of impede you when it comes to like growth and things of that nature. So, I'm getting being mindful of the fact that, I'm gonna say we because I resonate with this. Not allowing your thoughts to control what it is that you feel about yourself, right? Getting stuck in there is not where you want to be. I'm also getting that, sometimes, overthinking can actually impede even like your manifestations. Um, Let me know if that resonates with anyone. So I am getting that, you might be really trying to manifest something, especially now that we're like in the springtime, right? We're trying to, get the ball rolling in different areas of our lives when we're trying to work on a sense of growth, finding a sense of balance. Angel balance here. So it's like, try and balance it all out, trying to figure it all out. But then when you get stuck, in, negative self criticism, as Aya just said, I like how you worded that, self criticism, it doesn't put you in the best place. And it's an attachment that needs to be released. So what do we do about that, right? We have man holding a coin. I'm kind of getting like a stubborn energy with that. Like I'm not getting like that's about actual money. I'm thinking like that's or feeling that's more about, you know, especially with like attachments and stuff like that. It's a very 3D thing. Like I'm getting some of your criticisms might come from what other people think about you rather than what you think even about yourself. Um, and then those you impose those beliefs onto yourself, and then it becomes a whole cycle. So yeah, let me know if that resonates. Everybody's going through different things, but there is something going on with that. So I'm kind of getting like this might be a time this upcoming month, and I feel like this is I'm getting like this might be a timeless reading. I'm not getting this is just gonna be for the month of April. I think this is gonna be something that's going to be ongoing. Um, Working on that. Um, let's see what else comes up. Let's get like maybe 3 or 4 more cards from here. Let's get 4 more cards from here. What else does the collective need to know, Spirit? Yeah, see, attachment came out again. So yeah, there's definitely an attachment that needs to be kind of released. Cutting those cords, right, of things that no longer serve. The number is 5 on that card, and there's also a woman. I'll just show you guys so you can see it. There's also like she's holding a mask, and it's like I'm getting like the attachment could be like your worldview of yourself. What are you holding on to that you feel like you're supposed to be doing and all this stuff that just doesn't really sit well with you, right? And it's going to take a little bit of strength and courage. This technically was in the reverse, so I'm here on the bottom. I'm going to put it in upright. It's going to take a sense of courage to kind of, you know, I heard the word wean. That's interesting. To wean yourself off of, the reality is, we're very 3D people. We are human at the end of the day. And we do have this attachment to, what it is that we see in society and things like that, how we're supposed to do things, how we're supposed to behave, what our successes are supposed to look like even. And there's this energy of just kind of saying, I heard fuck that with this throat chakra energy. I just heard fuck that. Hey Beatrice, how are you? um, it's like you have fifth chakra Archangel Gabriel here. It's time to be vocal. It's time to just like live your truth and say F that. Because I did look up, and while I was saying that, I saw 1331, which is giving me like, it's giving me ego death. It's like, I'm not worried about nobody else anymore. Yeah, it's definitely this energy of holding back. And it's like, it's time to, speak up a bit. I'm good. I'm good. Tired, but good. I did work before I came on here, and I didn't even expect to do this. I don't typically go on live on Sundays, so I'd be too tired when I get out of work. But I was like, I felt kind of good. Thank the Beatles. The Beatles. I was listening to them before I came home. I was just like jamming. I was just like, okay, I'm in my little zone right now. I know the people when I was walking down the street, my AirPods. They probably like, what the fuck is she doing? I'm like, acting like I'm strumming and stuff, and they're probably like, which is fucking weird. But I love them and I love music, so that's one thing that gets me in my zone always. What we got here. All right, so we have 2 cards that came out. I heard topsy turvy because the cards came out like weird. We have yin and yang, which is kind of that energy of balance again. Hey Lottie, hey girl, hey. I love seeing my sisters popping in. And it came out along with indecision. I love it. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you guys. Um, yeah, so it's like there is this decision when it comes to like how do you balance it all out, which we kind of were talking about even like earlier in the reading, like this sense of just figuring it all out. What do we do, right? Where do we go from here? Um, because you guys, for some of you this could have to do with like family and stuff like that. Um, we have happy family here and healer of the ages. So I'm getting like an energy of like healing the family dynamic. That could be one of the things that is causing a sense of indecision and things like that, that you're and smoke and mirrors and all that stuff that we're picking up on before, that attachment that you might have, that makes it a little bit more complicated when it comes to figuring out what it is that you want for yourself. So some of you guys in this upcoming month might be, and I, like I said before, I'm getting, it's not going to be just this upcoming month. I feel like it's going to be deeper than that. I think this is like deep inner work that you're going to be kind of doing right now. And it makes sense because we are in this energy of shedding energy. We're in this energy of allowing things to grow. I'm getting self-growth. So yeah, it's a journey. It's a journey that you guys are bestowing upon in order to get to where it is that you're trying to go. But there's a decision to be made there to make that move to go in the direction that you're meant to go in. So there's like, I heard learning curve. There's things that go against maybe what it is that you've been taught that you're supposed to do, and you're like, am I really supposed to do this? Is this what I'm really being called? And it's like, yeah. And that's where that smoke and mirror energy that I was picking up on comes in. It's like, you get in your head about it, and you start to second guess it and question it, like, am I on the right track? And I was just saying a little while ago, like, I personally felt like that earlier this week. I don't know what day it was. Was it Tuesday? I'm not sure what day it was. Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. But I just had like a little bit of a meltdown on my own accord. Nobody did anything to me or anything. Nothing happened. I just kind of was just like, I give up on everything. Like, I'm done. I don't want to do anything anymore. Like, I was just having a moment, and I gave a little bit of a quick little synopsis about that earlier, and I was saying, like, some of you guys might be feeling the same way, but I was drawn and called to say, like, we can't lose faith in ourselves, even when circumstances are hard. Like, we can't, and there's a reason why. I think Spirit was like, instead of doing the reading about like motivation and stuff, how about tonight we just make it about April prediction? I'm like, okay, I can work with that, and I could just weave in the other stuff like as I go along, because otherwise I'll start crying. And Spirit kind of told me that. They were like, we're not doing that tonight. I was like, bet. We're not doing that tonight. No crying on the live. No crying on the live. You guys have been here to do that shit. Not tonight. Mm-mm. So let's get like maybe two more from here, Spirit. If you guys are resonating with the messages, let me know in the comments, or you can hit the reactions, you can hit that like button. All those things are helpful. And if you're new to the channel and haven't done so already, you could subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that. So I'm getting like, this is deeper than just like, oh, oh, is my money gonna be good this month? How's my relationship gonna look? Like, no, this is deep stuff here. This is way more than just our typical stuff we look into for a prediction. There's a reason, I guess, why I did not put in the description or in the title. I was like, because I usually put, like, if I do a prediction one, I usually put like general, career, and love. I didn't do that tonight. And there's a reason why, because this is deeper than that. I almost put timeless as a part of the title, and I didn't do it. But yeah, listening to that intuition, I said something about like intuition and just being more connected to spirit too. It came out in a challenging position. I think that there could be some of, I'm gonna say us, not just you guys, but us, as a collective, who might be struggling sometimes with kind of getting in tuned and whatnot with you know our higher self, with the higher beings up there, whatever you believe in, God, ancestors, the universe, whatever you believe in. I don't, one thing I don't do on here is push beliefs or anything like that. But I am getting something along those lines. So if you, again, that sense of with it coming out challenging, you might just feel disconnected. I'm getting a possible blockage when it comes to the crown chakra right now. So if that crown chakra is feeling off, if you're feeling that disconnect, some of the things that we've been talking about could be contributing factors there. Um, we have somebody who's new. Hi, Monica. How are you? We have another Monica, one of our sisters of the Soul Tribe. Her name is Monica too. So another Monica. I love to see it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Um, awesome. Yeah, we have storm warning here. So remember, I was getting kind of like this energy of I was picking up on like actually it didn't happen in this reading, but what's funny, because it's not in this reading, but when was it where I just felt that energy? I saw a card in my head. Was it last night? I didn't go live or anything last night, and I didn't read or anything. But I saw, what card was it? I saw the building blocks card of the for those of you who are readers as well, from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. I saw that card, the building blocks card, and that card always gives me like the tower when I see it, because it's like when you think about the tower, right, which is also the equivalent of this card here. Um, the tower card is about when everything just gets knocked down, right? Everything just gets shaken up, and when it all gets shaken up, it's like a storm. And what are you left with? You're left with like the debris and shit. And what do you do with all that? Right? You have to rebuild. So I see that like in my mind's eye, and I, even though it's not here, and I almost was about to say, oh yeah, well we did not talk about that, but I saw it. I think it was last night in my head. Like it just kind of like was like a vision, I guess you would say. I just saw it. So I'm getting that some people are going through like those tower moments and stuff like that. I'm getting like you know Dark Night of the Soul. I'm getting ego death, that type of stuff, all those kind of different things. I mentioned ego death earlier. I did actually mention that. I mentioned ego death. So yeah, the sun is in the reverse on the top of the deck, and it's like, you're waiting for those sunny days to come, and you're like, when are they gonna come? And it's happening. It's going to happen soon. But there are those ties that have to be severed first, all tied up. You have to release yourself from those things, and that is where that attachment comes in, right? And indecision about the attachments that are kind of in the way. Wow. I'm hoping this is making sense. I know like this is kind of heavy for like this is to be a predictions reading, but like I said, I'm getting like 23, as I said, that number 5. We talked about the number 5 earlier. Like there's changes that, yeah, see, a number 5 energy. Like there are changes that need to happen in order to get there, right? Your happy place. It's not that it's not going to happen. It's just it takes dedication, right? And if you've been in that energy, just like myself, where you just feel like, one more from here, spirit, please. If you've been feeling just kind of, like I said, just stuck, or just feeling a little bit like, I don't know what's gonna happen, like, this is that energy of it's time to release. We are still like, kind of having like some of the ramifications of things like, the new moon energy that passed not too long ago, and the spring is finally here, and all these other things that are happening and shifting and changing. So there's a lot of things happening, right? A lot of room for growth, but it also comes with sacrifice, and those sacrifices are the things that no longer serve. So those changes do have to happen in order to get there. Yeah. I like this card because it really is like representative of what we just were talking about, the garden and the gate. So I'll show you, right? Like It looks like rainbows and butterflies and shit. It's so beautiful, right? Got like the little hummingbird and all this beautiful stuff going on, like the green pastures and all this stuff. But the thing is, there's that gate there. So she's like, oh wow, how am I gonna get there? But look, she has that key right around her neck. And that key is the choices that we make. So it's like, okay, so what do we do with that information, right? It's up to us to be able to say, okay, I'm going to make, a decision. The right side of my nose is itching. There's going to be decisions to be made. You got to let go of those hostilities, right? And when I say hostilities, I mean with other people, and I also mean within yourself. So if there's like an internal battle too, that has to go as well. Like you gotta, you see how he's holding that sword? Cut that shit out. Cut it out. Somebody might be a Full House fan. Let me know in the comments. Goddess of the Moon. You have a lot of this internal knowledge, and it's now time to actually pay attention to it. Stop ignoring. Interestingly enough, we had 25, 52 when I was looking up a second ago, and then there's 52 on here. So the number 25 or 52 might resonate. Number 7 could also be important. Let me know in the comments. So there is that inner knowing and knowledge that you guys have. But there's also maybe for some of you could be some fear-based. Yeah, exactly. Uncle Joey. um, yeah, it's like, if there's like any of those fears and anxieties that are kind of hidden, underneath the surface, that could also be, one of the things that can impact the decision making that needs to happen and those attachments that need to be released. And, yep, see, storm warning here again. Just saying. So let's see. Let's look into the tarot. I'm trying to think how I want to do this. Do I want to do a 5 card spread, or do I want to do whatever comes out? Let's do a 5 card spread. Do a couple or a few shuffles. If you guys are resonating with this message, oh look, ooh, damn it. 2 of Swords, which is about decisions. And while I was shuffling, of course, now I'm not gonna be able to find it. Shit. Well, we do have the World here. But the card that I saw while I was shuffling was the Death card. Ego death, right? Decisions. Kind of comes back to what we were already saying. So, let's get some cards from the tarot, and then we'll dive a little bit deeper from there, and then we'll see what comes up. I do hope that you guys are resonating so far, because I have definitely been enjoying delivering this message. It's a little bit more, like I said, a little deeper than I thought it was going to be, just for like a, quick little, check-in for the month of April. But I was picking up on this energy of this being like more of a deep dive within self, and it's showing up in this reading. So there you go. All right, so we have the Ace of Wands here. So it's giving me passionate new beginnings. For some of you, this could be about like a business venture, something like, with something creative spark. You have the Hermit. You guys might have been in hermit mode for a very long time, where you're, stepping out of it, or you're, maybe you're called to be, still in it, depending on, your circumstances. Only take the messages as they resonate. Everybody's going through different things. But if there was like a lot of heartbreak or disappointment, we have the Three of Swords here. That could explain where that energy is coming from. So you guys might have been like kind of, in this, I'm just gonna kind of stay to myself, doing that deep dive work. Yeah, underneath that Hermit is the Fool. What else is there? No, all of a sudden I have to pee. That's annoying. Ooh, Ace of Pentacles. I like that. Yeah, so you have the Judgment card under here. Yeah, so, again, everybody's going to do different things, but let's see. Spirit, what is the overall? We got kind of a synopsis already. This is definitely about, more of a deep dive versus just, the superficial surface level, like, oh, how's my career gonna look, how's my love life gonna look. This is something I think is more like a timeless reading versus just April. and maybe ongoing. So let's get an overall message here from the tarot. Tarot symbols accurate message, please, and thank you. All right, well, that's way too many. I'm not taking all those. Way too many. Yeah, they were gonna try to give me all of these. I'm like, yeah, no. All right, let's see. Overall message. It's a little louder than I was expecting it to be. There we go. Okay, so for some of you guys, you are going to be hard at work with this Eight of Pentacles. For some of you, maybe this message that we're kind of receiving here is this energy of, oh, I have a decision to make when it comes to work related things. Everybody's going through different things, take it as resonates. But that could be the thing, because I was picking up on, like, a lot of stuff that's like very internal. And when it comes to like internalization, like a lot of us hold like our careers very, very close to the heart. So let's say, work has been not that great. You're ready to move on from your job or a career or something like that. You want to move on towards something new. But then you get kind of, psyched out because you're attached to this. It has meaning to you, or people expect you to, do something with that particular career, so on and so forth. Everybody's going through something different. So, but career tends to show up a lot, especially like, if there's something that's like emotionally driven when it comes to your work. Queen of Cups on the bottom, Nine of Pentacles, like, yeah, it's like maybe you're like, okay, well, I want to do something that's emotionally fulfilling, but also allows for me to have growth. Let's say if you feel like there's no growth in your job, you might be like, okay, yeah. Seven of Cups. It's like, what do I do? Is it time to move on? There could be a sense of confusion there, right? Hence the indecision card that we had got earlier. Now, keep in mind, this indecision could involve other areas of your life too. But what we're picking up on so far at this point is something that could have to do with career. What's the incoming energy? It's one of those, take the messages as they resonate. Don't force it to fit. If it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. But you can still possibly get something out of this message regardless. All right, so we have Five of Pentacles. Not necessarily happy with that energy, but I might clarify it just to see what's going on there. Ooh, we got the Ace of Swords on the bottom of the deck here, along with the Three of Cups on the top. Interesting. Six of Wands. It's kind of giving me, I heard from rags to riches. So like there could be something that's about to happen in this area of your life where there is going to possibly be like a cause or a call for celebration. And I'm getting like new jobs, promotions, raises, and things like that. And there's that Ace of Swords there. Tell us more though about this Five of Pentacles, because the Five of Pentacles in and of itself represents like more of like a kind of stuck energy. It's about feeling left out in the cold. It could represent financial hardships. It could also represent different like physical ailments. It could represent a lot of different things. So tell us more about this Five of Pentacles. For this to be the incoming energy though, and the energy that was surrounding it, the other energy was very positive. So that's why I'm like, I want to know a little bit more about that. What we got? Ooh, the Empress. Okay. I like the Empress energy. That's about growth, expansion, leveling up. Ace of Pentacles. So I'm telling you, everybody's going through different things, but there's definitely at least one person who's watching who's going through something with it when it comes to career and finance. And that's going to be a big, big factor in this upcoming month for somebody. Got that Two of Swords energy showing up again about decisions, right? Yeah. King of Wands, that's about somebody who stands up for themselves. They're very, very assertive. They don't play games. Um, that person could also be like a business person, like very business minded, oriented, management, that type of stuff. So some I'm getting for somebody, it's not for everybody, but somebody might end up like becoming like a manager or supervisor at work. That seems very specific. That's not gonna be for everybody, but that is confirmation for somebody. My phone just went off at the same time. Interesting. All right. So, what might be a challenge for the collective that they need to be aware of? What could be a challenge? Aside from, like, obviously, indecision. We saw that already. Um, yeah, so we have two cards that came out. We have the Ace of Wands, which showed up before, and it's here again, but officially on the spread, along with the Four of Swords, which is about, it's kind of about like sleeping on something. It's about having to, like, take a moment to debrief, figure it out, rest. So I'm kind of getting, don't stress about whatever this is. If it is about a decision that needs to be made, yeah, because Ten of Wands, it's like, okay, well, there are burdens that are already there. Ace of Cups, it's like, don't get overwhelmed, right? I'm getting that there's, for those of you who are resonating with this message, there looks to be something that could possibly happen where you are going to have to make a decision. But with that decision comes not just financial stability and like the sense of being able to kind of have the sense of creative spark within your workplace and career, but there's also something about like something that's emotionally fulfilling as well. I'm getting, yeah, but you have to use your best judgment here. you know Everybody's going through different things, but I'm definitely picking up on a lot of career and finance in this reading. Right. How can the collective overcome this challenge, Spirit? Thank you. Gotta use your best judgment, is what Spirit is saying. I mean, this is the third time this card showed up in the reading, and is officially on the spread now. So, like, Spirit is saying, like, look, you're gonna have to use your best judgment here. Um, and that's why, we were talking about like intuition, maybe feeling a little bit blocked and stuff like that. They're like, look, we're trying to help you, we're trying to guide you. Pay attention, right, to where you're being guided and where you're being led, because we're guiding you for a reason. And stand up for yourself is also a part of the message. We got that Seven of Wands. That's somebody who, is assertive. They stand up for themselves. You know, Two of Pentacles that could represent choices again. So it's like, whatever decision you happen to make sure that you use your best judgment, and make sure that you really, really stand up for yourself. Don't let nobody, I heard lowball. Don't let nobody like lowball you when it comes to like, opportunities that are coming through and stuff like that. Fuck that shit. If someone wants to try to play in your face about, you know, getting raises, promotions, and things like that. Like if you know that you're really good at your job, and then like there's opportunities for growth. You know, I'm seeing like an email, like you get the email that says like internal positions available, and you go to try to apply for it, and they try to play in your face, acting like you're not like suitable for the job, and you're like, damn well you're better than Susan over here who got that position, but they're gonna try to tell you that you're not good enough for it, or like they're not gonna use those words, of course, but like, fuck that. Stand up for yourself. If there's like discrimination or anything at your job because you're, a minority or anything like that, you're a woman, whatever. Like, don't let nobody play in your face. I even got like, I just heard this too. Let's say, oh, you have to have a degree for this position. Now, mind you, you've been with the company for fucking ever, but you have to have a degree for that particular position, but you have more experience than the person that they're going to try to hire for that position. Absolutely not. Fight for it is what I'm getting. That or just leave. Take your talents elsewhere. Yeah, don't get caught up in your fucking head. Don't overthink it. Eight of Swords. We picked up on that energy earlier too. What's going on behind the scenes that the collective needs to know? Again, if this message is resonating and you haven't done so already, hit that like button. Let me know with some reactions or comments in the comment section. All of those things are super helpful. And if you're new and haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. We'll greatly appreciate it. All right, what we got? Yeah. The spirit is like, we're trying to set you up for an opportunity to possibly walk away from something that no longer serves you. Eight of Cups. You know, embarking on a new journey. That, and we did see a journey card that showed up earlier too. I don't know if I don't remember if it was an official spread. I don't think so. No. But there is that energy of, you know, having to kind of walk away from what no longer serves you. Like if you look at this card, it's a little bit different from that card, but look, you know, we see this person, like they have a choice to make and they have to, you know, choose a path. So what path are you going to choose? You know, are you going to stay where you are, where things are stagnant and you're not happy? Or are you going to move on? You know, they want you to pick an option that's going to allow you to have a sense of peace and balance, harmony, temperance. Some of you guys might be Sagittarius. Yeah, so whatever decision you make, King of Swords, be very clear and concrete about that decision. Yeah, because this is something that could bring a sense of lucrativeness, right? This could bring in money. This could bring in opportunity. What's the likely outcome? I did see the Page of Pentacles try to come out. Let's see if it actually comes out. But I did see it try to. It went back into the deck, so I'm like, I'm not gonna take it. But that card does represent opportunities. So it's usually about offers, especially financial offers. So it's just interesting that it did show up. It didn't officially come out, but what we got? We have everything is fine. This card is essentially the equivalent of like the for those of you who know tarot, it represents like the 10 of swords in the reverse, which is about the endings of like the really hard times of your life, really hard painful times, betrayals and disappointments, all of that. There's this ending happening and a sense of resolution. So things are going to start to resolve and get better. We have the Page of Cups here at the bottom of the deck. Nine of Wands. I am be mindful of fake apologies for some reason. So yeah, Seven of Cups. You know, just don't let people. I heard gaslighting. Just saying. I know that's like a term that people use so like freely nowadays, but I did hear that. Like, don't let nobody like gaslight you into staying in a position or anything like that anywhere in your life. You know, whether it's in your romantic life, whatever. Like, don't let anybody like, you know, gaslight you into staying somewhere where you know there's no opportunity for growth. So whether that's, you know, your career, I think I saw career change. Look, as I'm shuffling, career transition. I'm just saying, this is as I'm shuffling. So for somebody, that is possibly what's going on. Don't let nobody lowball you, and don't let nobody gaslight you into staying in any position or situation that is no longer suitable. If there's no growth there, you gotta go. Anything unaligned must go. So that's what I'm getting so far. And we're gonna close out this reading with 3 last cards of a little bit of advice from Spirit. Let's see what they have to say. Close this out. I'm gonna get the cards out and then I'll tell you what the cards are afterwards. Wow. You can't make this up even if you wanted to. two more, spirit. I heard choppy, like, and I heard dicey, like choppy, dicey, like this wishy-washy ass energy around somebody or something, and it's like you know something don't sit well with you. My stomach started to hurt when that energy came out. Wow, look at that, because that goes back to what I was saying too, or what I was picking up on, I should say. But yeah, I heard that too. Like something just doesn't sit well with you, and you know something is off, and that could be what like anxieties and stuff, losing sleep over. Like don't let nothing, like I'm getting, don't bring work with you home. Like don't do that. Trust me, I know how that goes because I do it too. But if this is a work related thing, they're just saying like, yeah, let's not do that. All right, so the three cards that came out, we have resolve. It says this is a period of indecision and inner conflict, and I said that. It is time to make a decision. Can't make this up even if you wanted to. Yep, exactly. Exactly. And that's why I was saying earlier, like, even our own thoughts and perceptions and stuff could be an issue. We have authentic self-expression. It says be true to who you really are, and life will change in the most amazing ways. And the last card out is perception. You are getting ready to have a shift in perception that will change everything. So, I mean, how is that about everything coming full circle, right? Because we definitely were talking about like this energy of, changing how we see things and how we view things, even how we view ourselves. Um, I was picking up on that way early in the reading, and it's kind of coming out a little bit more. Again, we have support system. Two minds are better than one. Three minds are better than two, and four minds are unstoppable. So I'm getting like something about maybe teamwork for some people. I would say somebody and some people at the same time. We have restlessness. Find a way to calm the waters of your mind. Exactly. I was saying like let's not be losing sleep over stupid shit, right? Easier said than done. Trust me, I know. Um, we have earth shifts. You are very connected to Mother Earth, and as such, you experience all that she does. So we're going with the flow of life, right? Um, as things happen and shift in our lives, we have to be adaptable and resilient, and just allow for those changes to happen and allow for ourselves to be able to grow through it. We're growing with the we're growing with the flow. Instead of going with the flow, we're growing with the flow. Okay. So with all that said, guys, I know this was like a little bit different for the typical predictions readings for like an upcoming month. Usually I kind of break it down like by area, but I didn't feel drawn to do it that way tonight. And I went with it, and I went with the flow. And Spirit had a different message to kind of deliver tonight. And I do hope that you got something out of it. I hope it was helpful, and I hope that this continuous growth that we're seeing getting ready to happen in your life. I hope that you guys continue to be on that up and up energy, and just keep on striving and moving forward, and you know keep on doing what you've been doing, because you definitely are on a good path, especially if you allow yourself to make the decisions necessary to move forward from the things that no longer serve you. And it does look like you have been at least thinking about it. So that sense of mind shifting energy will be the thing that could possibly bring a lot of great things to you as you move forward. All right. So with all that said, I love you guys. I hope that you guys, yeah, Bruce Spanish. Ooh, sweet. See you, Aya. In a little bit, right? Yeah, about half hour. Okay, I'll be there. But yes. So, like I said, I hope you guys resonated with this message, and hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff to help support the channel. And until next time, my loves, you guys have a great rest of your night. Monday's coming up. Happy Monday in advance. And I will see you guys soon. Mwah.